The buzz came in clusters. 3 pings, then 5, then 17 in under 2 minutes. Rebecca set her coffee down and reached for her phone. The screen flooded with laughing emojis. At the top, her mother's message, "Look what I found." Below it, a photo of her diary page.
That's my diary.
The close-up showed her 12-year-old handwriting. "Today," Mom said, "I was too sensitive again." A page she had written 2 decades ago.
She posted it, for the entire family to see.
Rebecca scrolled. The next page was not hers. It was a different hand entirely, slanted, elegant, written in black ink.
Wait, whose handwriting is that?
It was cursive, deliberate. The handwriting of someone who had lived decades. And here it was, tucked between her own adolescent vents.
This diary isn't only mine.
The family chat was still laughing, but Rebecca stared at a stranger's words in her own diary.
The way she crossed her T's, the little flourish on the G's. I know that handwriting.
When Rebecca was 10, her grandmother Helen had given her a blue cloth diary. They agreed to share it, each writing on alternating pages.
You write your heart on these pages, and I'll write mine. It will be our secret garden. Just the 2 of us.
Mom posted our shared diary. She didn't even check whose words were whose. She has no idea what's in those back pages.
Rebecca had not seen that diary since Helen was moved into care. She'd assumed it was lost, emptied along with the rest of the house.
If it survived anywhere, it's in her storage unit. The key is still in my drawer.
The storage unit had been sealed for 2 years, ever since Helen's death. No one in the family had asked about it. No one but Rebecca.
I need to find that diary, before Mom deletes something she can't undo, before the whole family reads what wasn't meant for them.
The family chat kept chiming. More laughter, more heart reacts. Rebecca pushed her chair back and grabbed her jacket. She had to reach that storage unit before her mother scrolled any further and discovered just how much truth one little diary could hold. The storage facility sat on the edge of town, chain link and rust. Rebecca pulled up and killed the engine, the chat still buzzing in her pocket. Inside the unit, the air was thick with dust. Boxes stacked to the ceiling, all labeled in Helen's careful handwriting.
Grandma saved everything. Somewhere in here is the diary.
She worked through the boxes methodically. Photo albums, old bills, Christmas ornaments. Then, in a smaller box, marked Keep, she found it. The blue cloth cover was exactly as she remembered, worn at the corners. She lifted it out carefully.
It's here. It's really here.
She sat on a dusty crate and opened to the first page. 2 handwritings. One childish, one elegant. Page after page alternating. Helen had filled her pages without ever telling anyone. The entries spanned years, dates and observations, a secret history tucked between Rebecca's childhood complaints.
She never thought anyone would read these. They were only for her. And now Mom's posted half of them to 32 people.
Rebecca closed the diary, her heart pounding. She had the evidence. Now she had to decide what to do with it. She couldn't leave without knowing. Rebecca opened the diary again, sitting beneath the bare bulb, and began to read.
The first pages were unremarkable. Helen wrote about her garden, a book she loved, a recipe for lemon cake.
Then she turned to a page dated June 1998. The handwriting tightened, as if the pen had pressed harder into the paper. The 14th of June, 1998. I saw her car at the motel again. She thinks no one notices, but I do. She parks 2 blocks away and walks. I followed her once.
Her car. Whose car? And why was Grandma following anyone?
She read on, her pulse quickening. Helen didn't name the woman, but the date was a wound. It was the summer Deborah had taken her solo retreat. She flipped forward. More entries, more dates. The diary wasn't a collection of memories. It was a record, a witness.
This isn't just a diary. It's evidence.
She turned another page, then another. The truth was no longer a possibility. It was unfolding in her hands. There was more, much more. She turned to page 47. The date, the 17th of June, 1998. I saw her with him again today. They met at the motel and I followed them inside. I have no doubt now.
She was talking about Mom. No doubt.
She has an account in her own name. I found the papers, and she made me sign a form. I did not consent.
A hidden bank account. And she forced Grandma to sign something she didn't understand.
Later, a week later, they called it a care directive. I said no, but she stood over me at the notary. I had no choice.
She coerced her own mother. That's how she took control.
Her hands trembled, but she steadied them. She pulled out her phone and began photographing every page Helen had written. Page after page. The affair, the hidden money, the signature. All of it, stored in her camera roll, silent and irrefutable.
I have everything. Now I just need to decide how to use it.
Back in her apartment, evening light fading, Rebecca transferred the photographs to her laptop. She created a folder. Helen's entries. Inside, 37 images. Each one a grenade.
I could post these right now. Blow up the chat. Let them all see.
But public humiliation was her mother's game, not hers. She'd be no better.
Grandma didn't write these for the whole family. She wrote them because she had nowhere else.
Restraint was the sharper weapon. Rebecca chose a single image. Page 47. She opened a private message to Deborah, attached the photo, typed 3 words. We need to talk.
She'll know what it means the moment she sees that handwriting.
Her thumb hovered over send, suspended between who she was and who she needed to be.
There would be no going back after this. She was ready.
She pressed send. The message vanished into the network. On her screen, the photo appeared below those 3 words with a small sent indicator.
Now she knows. Or she will. The second she opens it.
Rebecca set the phone on the nightstand, screen facing up, and waited. The apartment was silent except for the faint hum of the refrigerator. She didn't check the chat. Didn't refresh.
She'd be looking at it right now, reading that curving script, recognizing her mother's voice from the grave.
The minutes ticked by. 5, 10. The phone stayed dark.
The longer she stays quiet, the more she understands what I have.
Rebecca didn't smile. She didn't gloat, but she felt the shift, the power she'd been denied for so long, settling into her hands. The first move had been made. Now she just had to wait for the world to react. In a kitchen across town, Deborah's phone chimed. She set down her wine glass and glanced at the screen. A private message from Rebecca. She opened it, expecting a joke, maybe a complaint. What she saw was a photograph of handwritten words.
That's not Rebecca's handwriting. No, it can't be. Mother, from the diary. She read my pages.
Her fingers shook as she pressed the call button. The line rang 3 times, then clicked to voicemail.
She's not going to answer. She has everything.
Panic surged. She swiped back to the family group chat, scrolling up through the laughing faces and heart reacts. She selected the first diary post and pressed delete for everyone. Then the next, then the next, then the next. Her thumbs moved faster, breath shallow, erasing evidence she didn't even know she had left. When it was done, the chat was empty of her throwbacks. But the silence from Rebecca was louder than any reply. Back in her apartment, Rebecca watched the chat in real time. One by one, the diary posts vanished, replaced by placeholders that read, "This message was deleted." Then the private messages began. "What do you want? Please don't do this."
She's terrified. Good.
Another ping. "I'll do anything. Just don't tell the others."
I know you will.
Deborah's texts grew shorter, more frantic, each one a confession of guilt she hadn't yet put into words. Rebecca set the phone face down on the nightstand. The screen glowed faintly, but she didn't turn it back over. Across town, Deborah stared at her screen, waiting for a reply that never came. She had erased the evidence, but the silence was worse. Rebecca had not named her price, and that, more than any threat, stripped the power from her mother's hands. It was past midnight when Rebecca finally picked up her phone. She typed a single word, apology. The message delivered. The chat now read, Rebecca, apology.
Apology. She wants me to say it in front of everyone.
She drafted a message. I am sorry if anyone was offended by my posts. It was meant as a joke.
Not enough. She's still deflecting.
She typed back. Not enough. Own what you did.
She means the diary. I have to say it was wrong.
Her fingers hesitated, then typed again. This time the words were specific. I posted Rebecca's private diary without her knowledge or consent. It was wrong, and I deeply regret it. She sent it to Rebecca. The screen went still. No response came. Rebecca read it once, then set the phone aside. The apology was ready, but she would not give her mother the satisfaction of an immediate reply. Without waiting for approval that wouldn't come, Deborah copied the apology text and pasted it into the family group chat. Her thumb pressed send. Rebecca's phone lit up. A pinned notification. Deborah mentioned the family group.
She actually posted it.
The message landed like a stone. Below the apology, the first reactions appeared. Question marks, shocked emojis, Aunt Carol asking, "What is this?" Uncle Tom, "Is this a joke?" Cousin April, "Mom, what did you do?" Rebecca watched the confusion spread, her face calm. The apology was exactly what she required, no less, no more.
Now the whole family knows she violated my privacy, but they have no idea why she really did it.
Deborah's name sat at the top of the chat, but she didn't reply to a single person. The silence from the person who started it all was its own confession. The chat filled with private messages to Deborah, to Rebecca's aunt, to anyone who might explain, but no explanation came. Rebecca set her phone aside and allowed herself one quiet breath. The first step was done. The family chat continued firing questions. "Is everyone okay? This is weird." But no one had answers. Then a private message from cousin Sarah. "What was that about? Are you okay?"
She knows something else is going on, but I won't be the one to say it.
She typed 2 words. "I am fine." Moments later, cousin Mark, "You have something on her, don't you?"
Mark always was too perceptive, but nobody gets the full truth.
Her reply was a single word. "Enough." The group chat remained pinned on Deborah's apology. No one else dared post. The silence was deliberate.
They can sense something deeper, but they'll never get it from me.
The private messages stopped. Rebecca placed her phone on the table and stared at the ceiling. The silence was her weapon. She couldn't keep the diary in her apartment. Deborah would come looking for it eventually.
I need someone she can't reach. Someone Grandma trusted.
She addressed the envelope to Charlotte Vance. The one cousin, Helen, had always called her secret keeper. She placed the diary inside, the note pressed against its cover, then sealed the envelope with tape.
Grandma told me once, if anything ever happens, give it to Charlotte. I didn't understand why until now.
She tapped the envelope gently as if saying goodbye. The diary was no longer evidence. It was something to protect.
Once it's in Charlotte's hands, Mom can't touch it, can't erase it.
She set the package by the door, then glanced at her phone. The group chat was still frozen, pinned on Deborah's apology. She turned off the lamp, leaving the envelope in the dark. The phone screen blinked once, then went black. Tomorrow, the diary would be out of her hands. But tonight, in the quiet, she knew it was finally in the right place. The next morning, Rebecca walked into the post office with the envelope under her arm. She handed it to the clerk, paid for tracking, and watched it disappear into the mail bin.
It's done. Grandma's words are safe now.
Across town, Deborah sat alone in her living room, phone untouched on the coffee table. She picked it up and scrolled through the family chat. Not a single new message.
They're all just waiting. For what? For someone else to speak first.
The apology she'd been forced to give hung over the chat like a stain. No amount of deleting could erase it now. Meanwhile, Rebecca sat in a coffee shop, her phone on the table. The group chat was still frozen, but she didn't mind.
The silence is heavy for her, but for me it's just quiet.
The diary was out of reach, the evidence was digital, and the apology had been made. For now, that was enough. 3 days passed. Rebecca did not post in the group chat. She did not reply to private messages.
At first the silence felt strange, but then it became a new normal.
She found herself reading more, cooking, sitting by the window. The phone became an afterthought.
Grandma would have liked this. The peace, the quiet victory.
The family chat remained a monument to Deborah's apology. No new messages appeared.
I did right by her.
Across town, Deborah scrolled the silent chat again, finding nothing. She had no more power to shape the story.
Enough was more than a reply. It was a boundary.
A week had slipped by. The silence was no longer heavy. It was just silence. The threat remained suspended, but Rebecca no longer felt it as a weight. 4 days after Rebecca mailed it, the padded envelope arrived at Charlotte Vance's apartment. She tore open the seal and pulled out the blue cloth diary, along with a folded note.
Rebecca sent me Grandma's diary? Why?
The note was brief, but the urgency in Rebecca's handwriting was unmistakable. Charlotte had never seen her cousin use those words before. She opened the diary to a random page and saw 2 sets of handwriting. One she recognized instantly.
Grandma's writing. She was keeping secrets.
She read only a few sentences. Enough to understand Helen's words were not meant for the whole family. Charlotte walked to her closet and placed the diary inside a small fireproof safe next to her own important papers.
Rebecca trusted me with this. I won't let her down.
She turned the key and heard the lock click. The diary was out of reach, exactly where it needed to be. Rebecca stood before the bookshelf in her apartment, her fingers resting on a framed photograph. It was Helen on a summer day, silver hair and a soft smile, the woman who had taught her the power of quiet persistence.
You knew, Grandma. You knew Mom's secrets, and you wrote them down because you couldn't trust anyone else. Now they're safe. Charlotte has the diary. Mom can't touch it.
The photograph seemed to hold a new weight, a silent thank you from the past.
The silence in the group chat isn't emptiness. It's proof that your words still hold weight, even now.
Deborah would spend every family gathering knowing what Rebecca held, a secret that could unravel her. The power had shifted permanently.
I didn't have to scream. I just had to show her one page.
Rebecca allowed herself a small, quiet smile, the kind that said enough without a single word. The silence was her victory, and she had earned it. The diary pages on the family chat didn't disappear by chance. They vanished the moment Deborah realized what she had actually exposed. For years, Helen had written her truths into the same book, alternating pages with her granddaughter. Deborah never checked. Inside those pages lay an affair, a hidden bank account, and a coerced signature, all recorded by a woman who had been silenced too long. When Rebecca sent just one photograph, page 47, her mother understood. The secret was no longer hers. That night, Deborah deleted every diary post from the family group chat, trying to claw back control. But the damage was done. The apologies and silence that followed proved what everyone now sensed. The power had shifted. Rebecca ensured the original diary was safe, mailed to the one cousin Helen trusted. The evidence was now beyond reach. From that moment, the family chat froze. The laughter had been replaced by a permanent question mark. The pages didn't mysteriously vanish. They were erased by a woman terrified of her own mother's voice, and that was all the quiet revenge Rebecca needed. 3 weeks after Deborah's apology, the family chat still showed nothing new. The pause had become a permanent freeze. 32 members, all silent. The apology pinned like a scar. Then a message lit up Rebecca's phone. Not the group, but a private line from Charlotte. A photo of the diary inside a small safe, followed by the words, "Safe with me."
That's the only reply I needed.
Rebecca set the phone down and leaned back into her chair. The afternoon light pooled around her.
I did everything Grandma asked. Everything she couldn't do for herself.
She felt no need to gloat, no impulse to check. The story had already reached its final page. Miles away, behind a locked door, the blue diary rested where no one could touch it, and for Rebecca, that was more than justice. It was peace. On Charlotte's shelf, the blue diary rested among other hardcovers. It looked unremarkable now, just a book with worn corners. Rebecca walked a quiet, tree-lined street. Her phone left at home. She didn't need to check anything anymore. Her apartment glowed in the late afternoon light. No pings, no notifications, just the hum of an ordinary life. She sat in her favorite chair, the one by the window, and let the silence settle around her like a familiar blanket.
I used to fear silence. Now I know it's just the sound of no one hurting you.
Beside the diary on Charlotte's shelf. The frame held Helen's smile. The two belonged together now, a secret kept.
I didn't need to win. I just needed to make it right.
The family chat would remain frozen for weeks more, the apology pinned like a monument to a battle no one else understood. But Rebecca had already turned the page in the quiet of her own life. She had found the one thing her mother could never take: peace. In the days that followed, Deborah sat alone in the dim light of her living room. She scrolled the family chat again. No one had reached out. The apology remained pinned, but private messages never came. She set the phone down and leaned back, tears tracing silent paths down her cheeks. This was the cost of what she had done. Not a verdict spoken by the family, but a silence that let her hear only herself across town. Rebecca stood before her bookshelf. The framed photograph of Helen caught the last light of the day.
I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for you, Grandma. Your words are safe now. Your truth is safe. You can rest.
Back in her own home, Deborah's phone remained dark. The group chat's silence had become its final verdict. The story had ended not with a bang, but with a quiet, unshakable stillness. And in the photograph, Helen's smile seemed to say what no word ever could. Rebecca walked the tree-lined street, phone left behind. Not a single message she needed to read. Her apartment was still washed in warm afternoon light. No pings, no memories pulling her back.
I used to carry her words everywhere. Now they're where they belong.
Somewhere else, the diary rested on a shelf. No longer a weapon, just a record of the truth. At the crosswalk, she paused, letting the breeze lift her hair. The world felt ordinary and new. The empty apartment waited, its silence no longer heavy. Just a room, just quiet, just peace.
I didn't need to win. I just needed to set it right.
She turned the corner, her silhouette dissolving into the golden hour, and behind her the past finally let go, weightless in the warm air. Rebecca smiled, not at anyone, but at the simple fact that she was free.